Lydia with MUSE TV, and I'm here today with Wylie Heiner and Chris Bailey from the new documentary Fake Famous, now available to stream on HBO Max. So, how are you guys?
Good. Thank you for having us, Lydia. Yeah.
Good. Good. You guys look so excited to be up this early. It's like no one wants to be
It's
up.
not that early
It's
though.
not that early. It's 12.
No, but give it a time. It's kind of like at this point, it's like I feel like there's no point to get up early. Just wake up whenever, and like even having a schedule, it's like getting back in the rhythm of even like having to get up for meetings. It's like
No,
it's
I
fun sometimes
totally
for
get it.
me.
I totally get it. Chris, did you just roll out of bed? How long have
Oh
you been awake for?
no, I went outside and I exercised and then I got ready for this.
Did you
Hot. All
bump
right,
into
that's
anyone?
inspirational.
Did you bump into anyone that recognized you now? Because I mean, like the Today Show voted it as like the documentary of the month. So I'm guessing you guys are having a lot of people calling you out saying, "Hey, I've seen you," and wanting to follow you and tag you and everything. It's been crazy.
Yeah,
Chris, you go. Yeah.
people have definitely recognized me. Like this last weekend, like I was doing the flea markets and a bunch of people were coming up. I just saw you on HBO. I was like, damn, for real? A few people I try to act like it wasn't me. I was like, you got the wrong guy. It's not me. But they were like, wow, I just seen you on HBO and now you're right here. You're making t-shirts. I was like, yeah. So it was cool. Like,
Chris, I bet you were a lot more excited than you are leading on right now.
hey, I was excited because a lot of people were coming up and people were giving me stuff. So
What
yeah.
were people giving
Oh,
you?
Um, okay, shit. Look. Have you guys ever heard of this new app? It's called Popple.
No.
So
yes.
yeah, you've heard of it? The
I've
guy,
heard of it, but never seen it. Like I heard people talk about it. Oh,
yeah, the guy that founded it came up and gave us a bunch of Popples and
wow.
exchanged for some t-shirts. So basically this is like technology where like a QR code scanner, you open up your phone camera and it scans it and it takes you
Hmm.
somewhere. This is like a little bit quicker than that. So with the new iPhone update, you can like just scan this little tag. And he also gave me one that you can like put on the back of your phone. And then like it brings you to like all your social media. So like doesn't matter what it is. It could be Instagram, it could be your Venmo, your PayPal, whatever. Um, but yeah, that was cool. He recognized me. He came up and he had a backpack full of stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, like I'm down. Give me some."
No, what about
Um,
you, Wiley? Had anything happen like that?
I mean, no, the paparazzi are not knocking on my door or anything, but I've had some people recognize me, but it's same old, same old. I mean, no complaints with that, but I mean, it's still been cool having my face out there and my persona and whatever, but no bad feedback, which is all I can ask for.
No, really. I mean, I think the social experiment was actually really eye-opening and kind of, in a way, it was very intriguing because a lot of things many people suspected was going on. Reposting, having all these setups, but you guys really gave us like the inside look as to how like deep this goes. People's fascination with wanting to make things perfect that it's practically fake at this point.
Hmm.
And Chris, I want to start with you because during your audition, when you were kind of going over like why you want to be famous, you said that you feel like you deserve to be famous because you want people to experience what it's like to be, passionate and charismatic in real life. And you do come across as someone who's all about authenticity. You want things to be real. You want to be you. You want to be, if you're going to be famous, you want to be famous for being who you are. So you're all about that authenticity. So tell us about that passion and why you feel so important that that's a message that you want to spread across social media.
well, because like it's a lot of fake people. So that's like just one reason on social media. But like all my life, people been telling me that they're gonna see me on TV. Like I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't always want that, but I came to LA and like opportunities started falling in my lap. So I figured like I was probably meant for it, and there's a reason. So I rather I want to turn that into like a positive reason because a lot of people lack like confidence, self confidence, self esteem, just like self worth. and that keeps them from like being who they are because they feel insecure and they feel like they got to do what everybody else wants to see them do, and they got to say everything that people want to hear. And it's like that's not how life works. You're supposed to be who you are. You're a unique individual for a reason. And like I want people to understand that it's okay to be you. Like you don't, like, Instagram is going to go away, and then who are you going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a terrible path to make and like cement if it's not going to be there forever. Like you're going to be this like person on the phone all your life. Like that's not how it goes. So I just want people to know, like, be who you are. Like be who you are unapologetically too. Like don't feel bad to just be you.
Love that.
Yeah, no, I think that's really a great message and something great to want to have on social media, because there are a lot of fake people who are giving this persona that people think it's real and they follow it, and it's not always, you know, just because one person has this one path doesn't mean it has to be yours, doesn't mean it's the only one. So that fake persona that we see a lot of it, it's really a lot of troublesome. So I think it's great that you want to push that. What is it that drew you guys to want to do the social experiment in the first place? Was it something that you were hoping to get out of it? Did you kind of figure like, yeah, being an influencer is going to open these doors, or were you just along for the ride?
I think we were both just along for the ride. Yeah. You said I can go first, Chris?
Yeah, tell them first.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So it was a little bit different for me. I mean, it was a very Los Angeles story, how it sort of happened. I was in line at a club pre-COVID and ran into a guy who was on a date with a girl. We talked for like an hour, never saw her again. She referred me to her roommate, who was a casting agent's assistant. And then, the rest just went from there. And from the, step one, I've always just sort of been along for the ride. And I do believe, like Chris said, I mean, I think things just happen out here in Los Angeles. It is crazy how it's a spiritual place where things just happen. And I think things happen for a reason. And I think, I don't know, I mean, it was crazy. It was wild. It was fun and traumatizing, like all at the same time.
Uh,
It's like one huge roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I remember watching it, and because we live in LA, so obviously everyone has a different story. Everyone has their way of how they got discovered, and it's really interesting. And I remember thinking, like, wonder what got these guys to want to do it, because you don't really know how it's gonna go. And that's the one thing that Nick made very clear. Like, we don't know how it's gonna end. We don't know the exact path, but to want to do it, I just remember thinking, if you're gonna go pretty famous, you're gonna open yourself up to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And Wylie, you kind of experienced a bit of that downside of it, because you obviously, you're a very positive person, you care about who you surround yourself with, but you had an encounter with an online troll that really kind of just shook up your entire experience. And what I'm curious is, why wouldn't you just block that online troll rather than, make your entire profile private? So why did you choose that route?
I am hypersensitive, I think, to things like that. And someone who is hypersensitive, and I think so many people are, especially when it comes to social media. Social media is just not a good place for people like that. And I mean, of course, I was making irrational, spontaneous decisions in that moment, but one troll felt like 1,000 trolls. And, you can have 1,000 good comments and one bad comment can ruin your day. And, the whole experiment was so on a very big scale that it just felt like that one comment was what everyone was thinking.
Yeah, I know. And it really, I'm almost kind of curious, because before you had that experience, you were saying when you were kind of running the errands that, fame seems like a fun thing, seems like a good thing, something that you could use. You weren't really sure how to describe it, but, as an audience, we could tell that you were intrigued by the idea of it. Dealing with trolls is obviously a downside of that. So has your perception on fame being this cool thing, has it changed, or is it just something that you think is just not for you regardless of how cool it is?
I can't say that I don't want to be famous. I mean, who doesn't want to be famous? But now that I've, learned a bit more about the experience and all of that stuff, it's not as fun and, it's not as glamorous as you think it is. I mean, I don't consider us famous. I don't know if you do, Chris, but I'm like, I mean, of course we're out there and we're known, but it's a lot of work and it really does take a toll on you. But now that we went through the experiment and know that everything is so fake, I feel like we can sort of be our authentic selves on social media, especially because everything is such, smoke and mirrors.
What about you, Chris? Have you had any downsides to, this prior or even after now that the documentary came out?
Nah, nothing
No?
bad has happened for me.
Nothing bad. Yeah.
I didn't even know, like, I didn't know. I don't know what this was about before I like walked into the room and like they really told me. So basically I have a friend and she's like a casting director and she was like, yo, I got a friend and she's working on this project and I think you would be perfect for it, because she always watched me on Instagram and she was like, you need to be on TV. So I was like, okay, so what do I got to do? And then she was like, she put me onto this and I didn't really know anything about it. So I was like, okay, what do I do? And she was like, yeah, come over to my house and I'll make you a self-tape. And I was like, okay, like I didn't know what the hell a self-tape was, nothing like that. So I was like, all right, I came over, we chilled. She asked me some questions, she recorded, and then then I left. So I never even seen my self-tape. I don't even know what it looks like. I don't want to see it. But then yeah, they hit me up, said they wanted to meet me in person. I came, I did the audition. That's the scene that you see. I was very like, people in the audition room was like super tight, and I was like, yo, why are you guys so like nervous?
It was a
Like,
guy with a unicorn onesie. I was
yeah,
just
I
kind of
was like,
like,
why
that's
you
the way to
guys
get
You
so
attention.
nervous?
you
Like,
weren't nervous, Chris? You weren't nervous?
no, it's not acting. I didn't need to rehearse no fucking lines. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
being
Like,
yourself, as you said.
I was
You're all
just like, it was like 5 questions, wasn't it, Wiley? Like 5 questions.
It was like 5 questions, and I think you looked very nervous in the documentary. So I don't know what you're saying, because it is nerve-wracking being in front of 10 strangers asking them just crazy questions that you're not prepared for.
Looks can be deceiving. I wasn't nervous. I actually brought my own cameraman that day to make it look extra Hollywood. And they were like,
That's
"Oh,
hilarious.
is he
Oh.
coming? Is he coming in with you?" And I was like, "Nah, that's just my photographer. He just came to take some pics."
Was
And
it
People
Shorty?
watching this might laugh. They might think
gosh,
like, "Oh wow, they got so extra," but that's the reality. I mean,
It
you
is,
brought it
yeah.
in to seem extra, but that's the reality. People
It's
do
LA.
have their own paparazzi. I mean, I've met people who they want to be famous and they'll tip off paparazzi, and I'm like, do they even know who you are?
yeah,
It's LA.
yeah, no,
It's
it was
LA.
just like a funny thing because that was like my boy, and he was like the little homie, and he was just with me in LA, and he's a photographer. He's a dope photographer. So I was just letting him follow me around and take pics and do whatever he really wanted to do. And I happened to have the audition that day. So I was like, yo, we're gonna make it look like you're coming in here with me. I was in the waiting room and I had
Happened
that
to.
girl with the guitar playing me a song because everybody in there was so nervous. And I was like, I don't know who this exotic looking ass girl is, but I'm definitely gonna get her to play me a song. Yo, for real. I don't know where she looked like she's from, but you guys see her in the documentary, and she's like, oh, my friend's got 1 million followers, and her lifestyle's very 1 million followers.
Yes,
Girl,
she's funny. She's funny. She was
that
funny.
girl was playing me songs in the waiting room, and then when I looked up, there was cameras all around me. And then they said, yo, just act like we're not here. And then this lady came up to me and she was like, yeah, we've been waiting for you. And I was like, oh, for real? And she was like, yeah. So
Wow.
like when I came in there, I wasn't even nervous, but okay, now post the whole documentary, nothing bad has happened because I don't know. It's just only good things have happened, you know? Like only
That's
good
great.
things have happened, only positive people have reached out, only people that can help me get to the next level have contacted me. So,
Chris is popping off.
there's some people, I see some people hating, but I've always been like this on social media. So I'm ready for the jokes because I got the
There's
jokes.
always going to be haters.
Yeah,
Honestly,
always.
Yeah.
there's always going to be haters. But one thing that I did find very interesting about your journey, Chris, is that you kept deleting the bots, and like I kind of felt bad for Nick because I'm like, he's paying all this money, and you're just like delete, delete, delete. But why would you do that? I mean, why not just let the experiment run its course, and at the end be like, okay, bye, you guys are not real. I'm gonna stick with like the real people.
So like, I guess like there's parts of it they didn't show, but like for whatever reason, if you go to Wiley's profile and you go to Dom's profile, you'll see it that they have a lot more followers than me. They had a lot more than me at the end of it, right? for whatever reason, he would buy me bots and then they would just start like falling off my page. So like it would go up and then it would go down. And then so I told him, I was like, I don't know why, but these bots aren't sticking. So he kept buying them, and it just wouldn't, stick. Like I was stuck at like 18K. So then I just told him, I said, look, bro, don't waste any more money because like obviously we see like it's not, something's going on with my Instagram in particular that it's not working. So they knew how to trigger me. That's the thing. Is like once the crew got to know me, they knew what was gonna make me like, kind of like start talking shit or whatever.
It's
so they
too
were
easy.
like, yeah, they were like, okay. I had hit him up a couple nights before and I was sending him screenshots of like the comments and I was like, bruh, like these comments mad whack, like they super embarrassing. And I was like, and then we basically had a conversation and I was like, I'm gonna just save them because I knew like, okay, we could like read them on camera as like a piece of it. And but no, I didn't delete any bots. I deleted comments, but I didn't delete any bots. It's just
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, they kept falling off my page. I don't know why, but
Did
I
any
didn't
of your
delete-
guys' friends notice? Like the
yeah, some
shit?
people noticed.
Yes.
They have
people
any like, were they calling you out or were they just like, wow, that's awesome?
People
A
didn't
mix.
call me out. People were like, "Oh, Chris, like, what's going on? You're a real influencer now. Like, I see your page jump up crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, bro, I don't know what's going on. Like, I just play dumb."
I'm sure because you guys couldn't tell anyone either. So that must have been
Yeah.
even like harder, like not being able to tell your friends, like, okay, here's what's really going on, just having to keep it quiet. Because it's hard
Nah,
to keep things from friends sometimes.
all my roommates are all my best friends are my roommates. So like they knew because like the cameras were coming through the house. Like they had to know what was going on, obviously. So like I didn't really feel pressure to tell anybody else. I told my grandma. She don't know nothing about damn Instagram.
I was
So
about to ask if you told your grandma.
yeah, my grandma said, I told her I got a contract with HBO and my grandma didn't, I don't even think she flinched, but she was proud and she just told me to let her know when it was out and she's going to watch.
Oh. What about you, Wylie? Did your bosses ever pick up on where you were all those times you were doing photo shoots? Christmas in July photo shoots?
Never. They never found out. That's my favorite scene too. But I was a little nervous to find out if they watched it. I texted one of the members on the team and they watched it and they liked it. So all is fine. But I haven't talked to my main boss about it. But I was taking days off, okay? And I was still getting those phone calls on my day off, right?
We did see that. I mean, like, I think it's great. Like, you guys really like seem like you had like you guys had a fun experience on a journey, regardless of how it ended, because all three of you really did have extremely different, journeys. There was no one way of saying like, oh, they're all linked up at some point. But the one thing I think that all of you guys do have in common in your journeys is the aspect of the fame that this brings to it. Because fame, it's just something that you can't touch, you can't grab, but yet everybody wants it. And the thing is that it's so alluring that people forgo like all the warnings or precautions that you're told about the downside of it. Like you got like Chris, you haven't had any bad experiences or anything, and that's great. But Wylie, you obviously had to deal with harassment, and that's just part of the downside of fame. You
Yeah,
have to deal
for
with
sure.
invasion of privacy, stalkers. I mean, there's a lot of crazy people out there. You never know what intentions they have. So now that you guys have been on both sides of this coin, before the documentary, after getting the inside look of the influencer world, and even before, why do you guys think that so many people want this fame that they forego, safety and precautions with what they post on social media?
Chris, you want to go first? Or I can.
I just feel like a lot of people are lost, A lot of people don't have like an authentic soul purpose that's unique to who they are. So they get caught up in this game that, they're playing and that everybody seems to be playing. And that's what they want to do. Or they think that that's going to be the way that's going to, this is going to set them free. This path is going to set them free. But like, I don't know. I'm not, I can't really understand why everybody feels like it's for them, because I'm the type of person that I'm a talented person. I could recognize talent. I could tell you, I could tell a lot of people, I'm like, dude, this ain't for you. You know, like you're not the person for this. But, you know, who am I to tell anybody that they shouldn't be famous on Instagram, you know? But
Chris, am I talented? Do I have talent?
I mean, Wiley, I think you have personality. I haven't seen talents. Like, wait,
You are so mean. You're so mean, Chris. So mean.
You're like a good like host. Like you can bring everything in. You know?
What?
Yeah, like
I've never hosted you for
like
anything.
if I have a show, I'm gonna make you the host.
Okay, that's true. All right, I'll take that. Thank
You
you.
feel me?
Thank you, Chris. Yes,
That's
I feel
talent.
you. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
The charisma, the personality. I mean, I don't know. Talent to me is like, what's the skill? Like, let me see the ability.
I agree. I agree. And
Show me
during
the
the
thing.
documentary, that was, yeah, no, that was something I struggled with during the documentary is Chris and Dom both had goals of moving out to Los Angeles and sort of becoming famous and, honing their craft. And I was in a 9 to 5 job doing real estate, miserable. And I have to say, like being an influencer, you cannot have a 9 to 5 job is what I realized. Like it is a full-time job being an influencer, and having a desk job doesn't match up. And there is no shame in at the time being 24 and not knowing what you want to do. I'm 25 and I just decided what I want to do. But I really think that through this process, it helped me figure out that I do want to become a counselor. I do want to become a therapist. And I really do want to focus on the incoming generations because of technology. And so many people, I know that my 45-year-old shrink does not know like how to actually use Snapchat. They know about it, but like they don't know the ins and outs and stuff like that. And there is so much more that so many people don't know about.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys really have a lot of insight on what you guys think allures. And, living in LA, we hear all the reasons why people want fame. And a lot of times it's like, okay, well, what's your talent? Because that was always the original way. You have a
Mm-hmm.
talent or you have a gift, you have something that makes you famous. And, now it just seems like almost anybody is famous for something. And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes you wonder where the line is drawn. And I had asked Nick and Dominique this question, and I really like to know your guys' opinion. You know, Given how you guys see fame and the people who are drawn to it, is there a difference between an influencer and someone who is famous just because? Because everyone says, "Oh, I'm an influencer," but if you really look at their content, it's like, okay, well, what do you influence? What do you inspire in people? Like, is there a difference for you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go for, I was going to say, the small piece of influencing that Chris and I have seen. I mean, Chris has, his clothes line to sell. And so people are approaching him, but I'm starting to get approached by brands or people to sell stuff. And I think it's really monetarily based, a lot of it. And I think so there's no motivation to spread a good word and, be an advocate for underrepresented groups, et cetera. But so that is the difference between someone like Brad Pitt versus, an influencer.
I just there's definitely there's a big difference, you know? Some like I said on the documentary, I feel like I'm an influential person, Instagram or not. So I was probably influencing people to do things, buy things, change the way that they were, wear different stuff, just, be different. Just
Mhm.
be even before Instagram. I didn't need followers to prove that I'm influential. I didn't need HBO to prove that I'm influential person. Some people are famous just because there's a lot of people behind images, right? You got to understand that there's sometimes hundreds of people behind one person, right? And they
Yeah.
kind of create that person, they kind of create that image that and that makes them famous just because they turned a person into a brand. They turn that person into an icon. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody is photogenic and their voice sounds a little bit good and they have the will to do it, and the person finds them that's going to, you know, put all the money behind it and the work and the time, that person can be famous. You understand? But somebody who is just, believes in their raw potential and their ability to, you know, touch people in whatever way, whether it's music, art, whatever their channel is, those people they're always going to shine through. It's just a matter of time. But it's water, it's saturation, it's just it's looks, it's everything is for a look. So like some people just have a look and it can make you famous. You can get famous off of a look. You can get famous off of a line. You can get famous off of one moment where you seemed like you were a really entertaining and interesting person, when in real life you might really not be. But that's the way that this game works right now that we're playing. But you will figure it out the longer that you're in this industry. And if you're in LA and you actually come face to face with a lot of these like famous people and so-called influencers, you'll find out like this person ain't really got anything that special.
They're not that cool. They're not that cool. Yeah, all the time.
I find out all the time. I'm like, you couldn't influence me to do anything. You couldn't influence me to breathe.
I gotta say, Chris, I got a DM 2 nights ago of a calzone, and I was like, I influenced someone to go get a calzone.
Look,
I was like, the impact.
I've been getting DMs about these all day because this might
put them down.
No, mango chili lime, black bean snack crisps. I'm getting the sponsorship, okay? And people been hitting me up all month, like, oh, I had to go buy some. Oh my God, these are fire. They're the best snack. But that's just like one thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really want to influence people just to eat snacks, like I said earlier, like I'm really trying to influence people to just be who you are. Like that's the best thing that you can do.
No,
love
I think
that,
that's
Chris.
great.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, it's great. So, I mean, now, okay, you guys are getting a lot of things. So, what's next now? I mean, sponsorship deals, book tour. I mean, what do you guys have? What do you guys have
to do,
planned?
Wylie? What you got on the radar, Wylie?
All right, I got some ideas. All right, so I got some sponsorship things down the pipeline. All right, Chris, like I do have some talent, and I'm waiting to hear back for some grad schools to get my master's in. They vary in programs, but counseling or marriage and family therapy, etc. But sorry, I got a notification on Zoom. And then you say book deal. I mean, the reason I kind of want to be a counselor is because I found this dark journal of mine from 8th grade, and it is just twisted, but I want to publish it because it's pretty funny and kind of interesting to see like a young 8th grader, struggling with her sexuality and like being dramatic and moody and hormonal. But yeah, so we'll see what happens.
That would help a lot of people.
Yeah. And like we said, like we've always been, what do I say? We're always just here for the ride. We're just riding the wave.
That's great. No. What about you, Chris? You got anything coming up? Anything you want to achieve?
There's many things coming up, man. This is not the last time you guys are going to see me. I told
I hope not. You guys are really great.
You're great, Lidia.
No, I told the whole cast, I said in 10 years, you're going to be telling everybody that you discovered me, because it's the truth. And y'all are going to see me doing all types of stuff. Believe me.
Chris is going to be dressing us. He's going to be dressing all of us.
Who knows? If that's what it calls for, I'll be dressing you, but you'll see me doing things. You'll see me on the screen. You'll see me behind the scenes. You'll see me doing stuff. Trust me.
That's great.
I don't know. I can't really talk about some of the stuff that's going on. To be real, like I can't.
I roll.
I can't do that because that's not how I roll. I can't talk about everything before I can just show you. So,
no, that's great. You're more about, you're a man of action, not so much words. So that's great.
Yeah.
I think we need more people. We definitely need more people like that in this industry who rather, who want to do the walk rather than just talk. But that's great. So thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking with me.
Of course,
you guys are so you guys are energetic. I mean, honestly, like you guys really make the presence is just like amazing to be around with.
Thank you
so much.
Chris, I liked doing this with you. I think we vibe off each other in these little.
I think a talk show might be in the making.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe, people love podcasts nowadays. So you guys definitely have a podcast, talk about your days, talk about who you encounter.
It would just be us fighting. It would just be us fighting all day, me and Chris.
Wylie, did you hear that podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Lidia, again. And it was so nice meeting you. Yeah. And have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you guys. Bye.